PandaHall presents how to make this statement necklace. For this project you will need 42 6mm round beads, 78 8mm round beads, 9 10mm round beads, 9 14mm round beads, a toggle clasp, 12 1.5-inch eye pins, 9 1.5-inch head pins, 2 crimp covers, and 4 crimps, beading wire in point 19-inch diameter, crimping pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters, 2 bead stops, and a ruler. Okay, the first step is to prepare the wire. Measure and cut a 28-inch length of beading wire, then cut a 12-inch length of beading wire. Attach a bead stop about 3 inches away from one end of the 28-inch length of wire. The second step is to prepare the bead units. First, head pin unit. Make 2 of these. String an 8mm bead on a head pin and form a loop at the top, then trim the excess wire. Number 2 head pin unit. Make 4 of these. String a 14mm bead on a head pin and form a loop at the top, then trim the excess wire. Number 3 head pin unit. Make 3 of these. String a 14mm bead and an 8mm bead on a head pin and form a loop at the top, then trim the excess wire. The first eye pin unit. Make 1 of these. String an 8mm bead on an eye pin and form a loop at the top. Trim the excess wire. Second eye pin unit. Make 2 of these. String an 14mm bead on an eye pin and form a loop at the top. Trim the excess wire. Number 3 eye pin unit. Make 9 of these. String an 6mm bead, an 8mm bead, and another 6mm bead on an eye pin and form a loop at the top. Then trim the excess wire. Attach a number 3 head pin unit to the number 1 eye pin unit. Attach a number 2 head pin unit to a number 2 eye pin unit. Repeat this for a total of 2. Now on to the third step, stringing on the beads. String 9 6mm beads on the longer length of beading wire. Then string on 26 8mm beads. Then string on 8 10mm beads. Then string on 26 8mm beads and 9 6mm beads. Attach a bead stop to the end of the wire. Step 4. Attaching the centerpieces. Position your bead units as shown. To refresh your memory on which is which, here is a list of them. Attach the number 1 head pin units in between the 8mm and 10mm beads on the necklace. Attach each bead unit in between the 10mm beads according to your prepared arrangement. Then attach a number 3 eye-pin unit in between each 10mm bead, 9 in all. Moving on to the 5th step, adding the 2nd layer. Count 7 8mm beads away from the leftmost 10mm bead on the necklace, then slide a crimp bead on the 12-inch length of beading wire. Bring the end of the wire in between the 7th and 8th beads you counted to. Then bring the wire end back through the crimp bead, forming a loop. Secure the crimp bead with crimping pliers. String on the following: 1 6mm bead and 4 8mm beads. Slide the wire through the first number 3 eye pin. Then slide on an 8mm bead and slide the wire through the next number 3 eye pin unit. Repeat once more. Then slide on a 6mm bead and slide the wire through the next number 3 eye pin unit. Repeat 3 more times. Now slide an 8mm bead and slide the wire end through the next number 3 eye pin unit. Repeat once more. Slide on the following: 4 8mm beads, 1 6mm bead, and a crimp bead. Count 7 8mm beads away from the rightmost 10mm bead on the necklace. Bring the end of the 12-inch wire in between the 7th and 8th beads, and slide the wire end through the crimp bead and a few more beads, forming a loop. Secure the crimp with crimping pliers. Trim the excess wire. Step 6. Finishing off the necklace. Carefully remove a bead stop. By the way, this is a good time to adjust the length of the necklace if you want to. Now slide on a crimp in 1/2 of your clasp. Slide the wire end back through the crimp and a few beads, forming a loop. Secure the crimp. Pop a crimp cover over the crimp and secure it in place. So now you want to do the same steps with the other end of the wire. Carefully remove the bead stop, then slide on a crimp and the other half of the clasp. Slide the wire end back through the crimp and a few beads. Secure the crimp. Pop on a crimp cover and secure it. Then just trim any excess wire. This video was brought to you by PandaHall. Please visit our website at www.pandahall.com.